The Eiffel Tower is so familiar today that it almost feels inevitable. It appears on postcards, films, souvenirs, travel ads, and countless photos of Paris at sunset. But when it first rose above the Champ de Mars in the late 19th century, it was not instantly loved by everyone. To many, it looked strange, industrial, and brutally modern. It was not a stone cathedral, royal palace, or classical monument. It was a vast lattice of wrought iron, open to the sky, assembled like a machine. And that is what makes its story so fascinating. The structure that became the romantic symbol of Paris began as a bold engineering experiment, built for a temporary world event and attacked by critics before it became one of the most recognizable landmarks on Earth. The tower stands on the Champ de Mars, a broad public space in Paris, France, close to the Seine. It is named after Gustave Eiffel, the engineer whose company designed and built it between 1887 and 1889. Eiffel himself did not personally draw every detail, but his firm had the technical experience, the industrial confidence, and the public reputation needed to carry out a project of this scale. At the time, iron construction was transforming bridges, stations, and exhibition halls. Engineers were learning to make structures taller, lighter, and more daring than traditional masonry allowed. The Eiffel Tower was a showcase for that new age, not a building that hid its structure, but one that made structure itself the spectacle. The tower was created as the centerpiece of the 1889 World's Fair, an international exhibition meant to display progress, industry, art, and national pride. The year was especially symbolic for France because it marked the centennial of the French Revolution. A century after 1789, the Republic wanted a monument that would announce modern France to the world. Instead of copying the past, the tower pointed forward. Its scale alone made that message impossible to ignore. Rising over Paris, it declared that engineering could be monumental, that iron could be beautiful, and that a temporary exhibition structure could compete with the grandest monuments of history. Not everyone agreed. Before and during its construction, some leading French artists and intellectuals criticized the tower's design. To them, it threatened the elegance of Paris. Its exposed metal skeleton seemed out of place against the city's refined boulevards, domes, and historic facades. The criticism was not simply about height, it was about identity. What should Paris look like? Should a city famous for art and architecture accept a giant industrial structure at its heart? That debate gave the tower an unusual beginning. Long before it became a beloved icon, it was a public argument in iron, forcing people to reconsider the boundary between engineering and art. The nickname La Dame de Fer, or the Iron Lady, captures both the material and the personality the tower eventually acquired. It is made famous by its use of wrought iron, arranged in a lattice that lets wind pass through rather than pushing against a solid wall. This was not just an aesthetic choice. At 330 meters, or 1,083 feet, tall, the tower needed to handle powerful forces without becoming impossibly heavy. Its open design allowed strength and lightness to work together. From a distance, it can look delicate, almost lace-like. Up close, it becomes an enormous assembly of beams, rivets, platforms, and curves, revealing the practical logic behind its elegance. When completed, the Eiffel Tower changed the global record book. During construction, it surpassed the Washington Monument and became by far the tallest human-made structure in the world. It was also the first structure ever to pass both the 200-meter and 300-meter marks. For visitors in 1889, that height was extraordinary. Most cities were still defined by church spires, domes, and low skylines. The tower offered a new kind of vertical experience, not just seeing a monument from the ground, but ascending into the air and looking down on the city. It held the title of the world's tallest human-made structure for 41 years, until the Chrysler Building in New York was completed in 1930. The tower's dimensions help explain its impact. Its base is square, measuring 125 meters, or 410 feet, on each side. From those four wide legs, the structure narrows as it rises, creating a silhouette that is instantly recognizable. Its height is comparable to an 81-story building, yet it was built in an era before modern skyscraper skylines became common. Today, with a broadcasting aerial added in 1957, it is even taller than its original form. That aerial also shows how the tower survived by adapting. What began as an exhibition monument became useful for communications, broadcasting, and science. Its value was not only symbolic, it became practical enough to remain. Visitors experience the Eiffel Tower through 3 public levels. The first and second levels include restaurants, turning the structure into more than a viewing platform. It is also a place to pause, eat, and watch Paris unfold from above. Tickets can be purchased to go up by stairs or by lift to the first and second levels. The climb from the ground to the first level is over 300 steps, and the climb from the first level to the second is over 300 more. That makes the stair ascent to the second level more than 600 steps in total. It is a physical reminder that this icon is not only something to see, but something to move through. The top level is the most dramatic part of the visit. Its upper platform stands 276 meters, or 906 feet, above the ground, making it the highest public observation deck in the European Union. While there is a staircase reaching the top level, it is usually accessible only by lift. From there, the city becomes a map. The Seine, the avenues, the rooftops, the monuments, and the geometric order of Paris appear from a single elevated point. This experience helped define the modern tourist view of a city. The Eiffel Tower was not just a landmark within Paris, it became a machine for seeing Paris, turning the city itself into the attraction. Hidden within the tower's story is a more personal detail. Gustave Eiffel had a private apartment built on the top, 3rd level. It was decorated with furniture made by Jean Lachaise, and Eiffel used it to receive guests, including figures such as Thomas Edison. This apartment adds a human scale to an otherwise enormous structure. It suggests the tower was not only a public achievement, but also a place of prestige and curiosity for the people shaping the technological age. Imagine being invited high above Paris, inside the most daring structure of its time, surrounded by iron, wind, and the view of a city that had not yet decided whether to love the tower or reject it. Over time, the criticism faded and the tower's meaning changed. What once seemed like an intrusion became inseparable from Paris itself. In 1964, it was designated a monument historique, recognizing its cultural and historical importance. In 1991, it became part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site known as Paris, Banks of the Seine. These recognitions confirmed what the public had already decided: the Iron Lady was no longer just a relic of a World's Fair. It had become a national symbol, a global landmark, and a reference point for how modern engineering can become cultural heritage. The numbers show the scale of its appeal. The Eiffel Tower is the most visited monument with an entrance fee in the world. In 2015, 6.91 million people ascended it, and in 2022 it received 5,889,000 visitors. Those figures are not just tourism statistics, they reveal how powerfully the tower continues to attract imagination. People travel from around the world not simply to look at iron beams, but to stand inside a symbol of ambition, controversy, invention, and transformation. The Eiffel Tower survived because it became more than the project that created it. It became proof that a structure can be criticized as too strange, too modern, even too temporary, and still become timeless. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.